We don't know 100%. So that's why I would like to bring on the table this point, whether you agree me or not, but you should go for a professional training. Professional training does not mean you just pay and do a training. You just go to the YouTube, you just go to the help of the PPT, you will learn lot many features, and then quality will be enhanced. So you should know how to get the best presentation, because right now the presentation is the most important thing. Right now you are, because earlier people were all like, students were watching you, they were just looking at you, you were explaining lot many things without presenting anything. Yes, you were using some tools, some teaching aids were there, you were also using some example, but different means were there to use to present something. But right now your PPT is most of the percentage which really students are looking at. So I have seen lot many teachers are using even their own they're writing and using the camera on their writing and using as a whiteboard or as a blackboard. Yes, that is also, there's no issue with using that, but there are some tools where you can use as a styler, like somebody is using this annotations basically. So this tool can, again, if you are using as a pen, you can just draw on something on your screen, so that would come in on this screen also. So this is basically a
I
kind of,
think, sir, you can stop sharing. You just verbally explain, that is better, because somebody is playing here. I'm unable to trace them
no,
out.
no, it's fine, no issues, because my point is visible, no issues with it. So we can, I'll just move on, because this is I think second last slide. So another 10 minutes are those. I'll just conclude. So fourth one is so my point is why I am just emphasizing on this point. We really sometimes do not realize what we are missing. So please, again, to request to all teachers, we should go and learn PPT, how to how to create a good PPT. I'm not doubting your skills. Yes, you know how to do that, but please improve that. So that would take you to another level. And fourth one is the virtual reality. I'll just go to some because there are some practicals, and Government of India has also developed a site that is called. I'm just going to that. Uh, where you can also see the virtual reality. There are two three things in terms of virtual realities. So I'm not going into detail of virtual reality, because what Dr. Halima was talking about, future school. So future school will use virtual reality, I think, most of the time. And what virtual reality we are using, I'll just let you know, where you can utilize them by doing, by because somebody has created that. So there are some, as that's why if you just look at some these education technology companies, some providers like I'm just taking few names like Next Education, Byju's, Extramark, and some other like because three are most popular. So what they are using lot many 3D presentations. So 3D presentations are better. So they are also using virtual reality sometime. But virtual reality is more on basically the tools and all. But I'm not going in detail. But virtual reality is also the kind of technology where you can use that technology for your teachings. But that is little on the higher education side, and so on some very specific some topics. So you should also use some e-resources, uh, how to use the e-resources, but I would like to suggest you please also develop some e-resources. That would also make you a better teacher. That would also make you or establish you as a good teacher. So establishing yourself as a good teacher, you have to generate some e-resource. To generate e-resource, you have to learn some technology also. But that is very, very easy. It's a simple kind of Microsoft Word where you can generate some e-resource also. Okay. So how to deliver e-resource, you know that. There are some virtual classrooms. Yes, please use virtual classrooms where there is ease collaborate and I start learning. I tell you, there are some other also. I'm just using one or two which are offering free services. I can also extend those services. Ease collaborate. I know I can also pass on that information or services to you where you can use these classrooms. So when you are using virtual classroom, So that virtual classroom can also give you an opportunity to create some groups within this class. Say I would like to conduct an exercise within the group, so I can also give them an exercise and make groups. So they'll go in separate groups, so they will not. So that would become, out of 24 people are there, so I can make 6 groups. So all 4 will work as in the one room. So I can create 6 rooms also. So these kind of features are there in the classroom. That is, and of course whiteboard is there, so you can also present something, where you can also write something, you can also draw something. So these kind of up, opportunities there, where when you are using virtual classrooms. Otherwise virtual classrooms are chargeable, so lot many schools have taken the services of the they have taken services of the virtual classrooms, those companies, and they're using it. Okay, so now I don't know how to. I'll just try to erase this. Okay, I'll just try to erase this, so I can at least show you some. Okay, so now I have erased what somebody has created. No issues with it. Okay, so now okay, so virtual labs are there. So those are using this. Uh, you are teaching chemistry, you are teaching physics. How will you explain some experiments? So the government of India has created some sites like vlab.co.in, and another one is sakshat.ac.in. And if you just would like to get some more tools, that is also on powerschool.com at tech tools. You can also find some more tools there. But I don't know how much they are providing free, but that is there. But if you are just going to the VLab, I can show you some experiments also right now. So I have another 5 minutes, so I'll just go and show you something. I'll also come back to my slides. You can also write to me. You can WhatsApp me, so I can answer any time. If you are finding any difficulty to use technology, or you would like to know something about technology, you can WhatsApp me, and I can within few hours I can answer your query. So now if I am just going back and using some, I have. So this is I'm trying to show you. My screen is visible to you or not, Dr. Alima?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so this is vlabs.ac.in. I'm again showing another one is again, this is Sakshat. Sakshat is Department of Higher Education. They have created lot many tools for schools also. You can see as this Swarm is there, NDLI is there, spoken tutorials are there, Nishta is there, and same as for the other online learning programs platforms, where you can also learn something and you can also teach something there. So this is basically same as with MHRD की site पे आप जब भी जाएंगे तो you will find lot many new things right now. So they have generated lot many tools, and you also know lot many things. That's why I'm not focusing more on this. But virtual lab, what I also like about virtual lab, if you just see this organic chemistry virtual lab.
Actually, that is not visible, whatever you are surfing over there. Only thanks is visible.
Okay. So I'll just stop share and I'll go back. Okay. Just a moment. Now is it अभी
Yes, yes.
आपको दिख रहा है?
Yeah. Physical chemistry virtual lab.
हाँ, सो इसी तरह ये मैं पहले आपको दिखा रहा था, ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन की है. इसी तरह मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एचआरडी पे आप जाएंगे साइट पे, आपको ऑनलाइन मटेरियल भी बहुत सारा मिलेगा. देखिए हर स्टेट की जो डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ एजुकेशन है, सब ने इस टाइम बहुत सारा मटेरियल डाला हुआ है. आप उस मटेरियल को यूज़ कर सकते हैं, आप उसे पढ़ सकते हैं, आप उसको यूज़ कर सकते हैं. सारा फ्री, एक तरह से ओपन सोर्स है, सारी चीज़ें आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं. तो मैं ये कहता हूँ कि हमें इसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए. बहुत सारा आपका ई रिसोर्सेज मौजूद हैं, लाइब्रेरीज मौजूद हैं, ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म्स मौजूद हैं, जहां आप खुद भी सीख सकते हैं. देखिए मैं आप सबको ये कहना चाहूँगा कि आपको ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज ज़रूर करने चाहिए. आजकल कोर्सेरा, एडएक्स, ये दो इतने मजबूत और इसके जो कह सकते हैं कि ऑनलाइन लर्निंग है, जिसमें आपको सर्टिफिकेट भी मिलता है बहुत थोड़े पैसे भी देने होते हैं, $50, $40, $30, इस तरह की कीमत होती है उनकी, लेकिन आपकी लर्निंग बहुत होती है उससे। आपको एक तो दो फायदे होते हैं, आप ये भी सीखते हैं कैसे लोग ऑनलाइन पढ़ाते हैं, किस तरह से डेवलप करते हैं, और आपको एक बहुत अच्छी इंटरनेशनल लेवल की जो टीचिंग और लर्निंग होती है वो सीखने को मिलती है वहाँ पर। मुझे लगता है कि उन उन पोर्टल्स पे आपको ज़रूर जाना चाहिए। कोर्सेरा है और एडेक्स है, बहुत सारे लोग जानते भी होंगे उसको। बहरहाल मैं वर्चुअल लैब को भी थोड़ा सा दिखाना चाहता था कि कोई अगर एक्सपेरिमेंट हो रहा है तो कैसे फिजिकल सिमुलेटर को अगर हम यहाँ देखें, आप देखेंगे कि एक सिमुलेटर भी वहां पर है जो यहाँ पर, ये HCL है सैंपल, क्रॉस सेक्शन हाइट ग्राफ, अच्छा ग्राफ रहने दीजिए। सो इट इज शोइंग, देखिए ये आपका ये चल रहा है, ये टेम्परेचर दिखा रहा है यहाँ पर, टाइम। So you just see these kind of laboratories there for the physical chemistry or the organic chemistry or physics. So lot many labs are there. So we do not have much time to just demonstrate this now further. So these are basically tools, or you may call them. This is not. These are the basically platforms where you will find lot many other things. So your this. Uh, so now I'm coming back to this my slide, coming back on my slide. Okay, okay, now. So this is it, what I would like to just show you, because again the time constraint is there. It's already 6:30 and we have to close this uh, by 7. So another speaker is there, so I'll not take it much. But you can ask some questions right now, if we can take one or two questions. But what my point is, you should know how to learn, and you should know you have to spend some time. So please spend at least an hour every day where you should also using technology. You are studying lot many things about subject, but right now it is also important to read about technology, and you need not to develop something, because everything is there, which is available on net, on web, where and please do browse some sites which I mentioned in my slides also, and also browse some sites which can also give you more about the latest use of the technology, because you should know what is the relevant tool to use. If you learn how to use that tool, then you can easily uh, you can use that technology. So if there is any question, Dr. Halima, so I can take some questions. Otherwise, thank you very much for
Thank
giving
you.
me this
Yes.
opportunity to just talk to some mute people. Thank you
Thank,
very much.
thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, the people seems to be mute, but here I can see that in the group chat, they are all very active and they are appreciating all the speakers, whatever they are speaking.
Okay,
And
thank you very
now,
much.
yes, now I request them that if there is any question, we can take one, because another speaker is already with us and another speaker is in the waiting room. We have to take him in.
Ah,
So,
you did not allow me at 5 o'clock when I was trying to enter to listen others also.
oh,
So
I'm sorry, because that time I was not the host.
okay, okay, that's why. That no issues. It's fine. I could not. I just missed the opportunity to listen others.
Yes.
So anything,
So
but otherwise I think there is no much questions left, because we have not really explained something which is not which has many questions. But in the future, if you would like to know something about any particular technology or particular tool or particular your own issue, you can write to us. So I would be able to answer your question at that time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Suri Saab. As usual, every time whenever you speak, I find something new. So this
Thank
time
you.
also I found many new things, and
Thank you.
especially when you spoke that we should whatever resources we have. This is the tendency of like our mentality that we always look to the things of others. जो हमारे पास होता है वो दिखता नहीं है, जो दूसरों के पास होता है हम उसको लेने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो you have like opened our eyes that so many materials are already available on our government sites, on
Yes,
different
yes,
platforms, so we can
yes.
make the best use of those things. So I think all the teachers must make the best use of your information. So
Thank you.
thank you very much. Maybe we can take the questions at the end all together, because right now I have seen just the appreciations but no queries. So we'll move further, and then I would like to request Janab Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahab, who is the director of Salmiya Indian Model School. And Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahab was earlier associated with Hamdard Public School. And there he was working as the vice principal, and I was just a fresher teacher, a new joinee. And he was very kind, and he was very perfect at that time. And since then, I know him that he is so hardworking and sincere in his efforts. Right now, he's the Director Education Paradigm Pioneers Group, Gulf and India, on the advisory board of the Indian Institute of Business Management and Studies, Mumbai. He is the chairman of New Indian Education Trust, NIET. This trust is running a charitable school for poor people. And he has received so many awards. The list is quite long, but I don't think that there is enough time to go through all these awards. I just express my gratitude and thanks on behalf of SAET and on behalf of JAHAN-E YouTube Live to Mr. Anis Ahmad, that he has spared his valuable time and he is among us. And Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahab is famous for his leadership workshops. I have attended a couple of his workshops, and those workshops are very effective. But those workshops were like activity oriented. I don't know whether here in this session he will be able to conduct some activities virtually, because I have seen now the people are conducting graduation ceremony virtual, farewell virtual, dance competition virtual, yoga competition virtual. So all these things are happening virtual. So I expect that some of the activities Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahab is going to do here with us virtually. So I request all the participants to kindly give a big round of applause, and please welcome Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahab from Kuwait. Anis Ahmad Sahab.
अनीस साहब का माइक म्यूट है, मैं अपने आप को अनम्यूट. अनीस अहमद साहब का माइक जो है म्यूट है. जी.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Ahlan, ahlan, marhaba, Anis sir.
Thank you, Shukran. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Halima.
Anis Sahab, do you have some presentations, or your verbal presentation is there?
Let me tell you very honestly that today it is the first time that I'm going to talk online. So there are no activities. I have not planned anything like that. I told you that it will be simply a talk by me, and there may not be any kind of interaction.
Okay, most welcome.
You can hear me?
Yes, we all can hear you.
Yeah, that's fine. The topic that you have given to me today is teachers as leaders, or leadership for teachers. Let me just give a little more about myself. I started my teaching career in the year 1982 from Sainik School, Chittorgarh, Rajasthan, as a teacher of English. Hello?
Sir, you are not visible to us.
What happened?
Mr. Anis, your video is off, I think.
Is it okay now? Am I visible? Am I visible now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are visible now.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes, friends, in this session of around, I think we are not having 30 minutes with us. I think 25 minutes are left with us. We have to conclude by 7 o'clock. The topic that has been given to me is teachers as leaders, or leadership for teachers. And certainly I'm not going to define, I'm not going to talk about any definitions. I will not give any definitions of leader or leadership. but we will talk about through some examples. I'm sure many of you might have heard about Michael H. Hart. Have you? He's an American author, most notably of the best-selling book, The 100, ranking of the most influential persons in the history. Do you know who is it? Who is at the number one? It is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Many people in the world were surprised at that. Why he chose Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, at number one. Why? Because it was only and only because of his tremendous influence over the people. In this century, in the 7th century, early 7th century, 611, he stood in the middle of Mecca and announced, I am the Prophet of Allah. And only 4 people believed him: his best friend, his wife, and 2 kids. After 1400 years, there are 1.5 billion followers of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That was the influence that he has over the mankind. And this influence is continuously expanding. It's still going on. There is no stop. And I believe that he was the best of the teachers, because it was practically whatever he wanted to say, he showed it practically. That is what I believe personally, that a teacher has to be a leader like that. A teacher has to be practical. A teacher has to show the way. When I joined as a teacher in the year 1982 at the age of 21, the very first day when I entered the staff room of Sainik School, Chittorgarh, I saw 3 quotations on the wall of the staff room. I still remember those quotations. Maybe I will share one of those quotations with you. The first quotation was, teaching is not a profession like medicine. It's an obsession and not a vocation. It's a life commitment rather than livelihood. Nowadays, the problem is, when we talk to the teachers about their profession, if we interview them, why they are into that profession. Many of them, the reply that we get, and which is sometimes disappointing, they say that because they didn't get another job, so they are coming to this job of teaching. So this is the kind of response that we get. So teaching has to be life commitment. You cannot come just because you are not getting some other job, so you are coming into the teaching. Teaching is a very, very noble profession. If we talk about leaders, there are 3 kinds of leaders. The leaders that are born, like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was a born leader. He comes into that category. The second category of teachers are, the circumstances create those teachers. Like, I'll give you an example. Another example of a very good leader. And you will find one quality of a leader also in that. I'm sure you have heard about Napoleon Bonaparte. I'll just give you one anecdote of his life. Once he was camping with some of his soldiers as they were going to attack some other city or the town. They were camping. Some soldiers, those who were resting, they were talking about Napoleon. And they were talking about that what is special in Napoleon Bonaparte. They don't find anything special because they fight in the same way, the way Napoleon Bonaparte fight. Napoleon overheard this talk. And he also came to know who was the soldier who said this. The next morning, when they had to make a march, when they moved from there, he called that soldier and he told him to exchange the horses. He said, now you are in place of Napoleon Bonaparte. Lead us. So they moved from there. Nobody understood what was the reason, but they moved and Napoleon was not the leader now. He was following that soldier. On the way, there was a stream. When they reached the stream, there was no bridge and there was water. horrible water. There was a rush of the water, the gust of the water. The soldier who was leading, he didn't understand what he should do. He kept thinking and thinking. He could not do anything. Napoleon called him, and again he exchanged the horses. He said, okay, now go back to your own horse. Let me lead it. Napoleon Bonaparte, he took the lead and he crossed the stream, and following him, all the soldiers, they crossed the stream because he showed the way, he showed the path. So all the soldiers, they were able to do it. This is another quality of a leader, that a leader shows the path. Now, why today we are talking about teachers as leaders or leadership for teachers? I'm sure the perspective has changed, the perception has changed about the teacher. If we imagine a teacher 30 years back or 40 years back, we will have a very poor picture of a teacher. Very poor picture. Maybe, a very gentleman having an umbrella, very shabbily dressed, very poor looking person. But now, no, the picture of a teacher has certainly changed. A teacher is not only a motivator. A teacher is not the person who just inspires. A teacher has become a leader. The teacher has become a leader, or a teacher is a leader now. Unless he is a leader, he cannot inspire his people. He cannot motivate his people. He cannot do anything. A teacher has to lead by example. A teacher has to be a model for his students. John Maxwell, he has conducted a lot of research on leadership. Many hundreds of researches. I think he's the man who has conducted most of the researches on leadership. What he says that leadership is required for progress and growth. There cannot be any progress or growth unless you have the quality of leadership. Just one quality is required to have growth, to have progress, and that quality is of leadership. Now let us analyze this word leadership. This leadership, it contains, or there are 4 hidden words in leadership itself. Number 1, lead. That is the first word. Number 2, leader. Number 3, leadership. And number 4, ship. These are the 4 words which this leadership has. Now, lead, what is the meaning of lead? If you look at the dictionary defines this lead is a verb. It defines cause a person or animal to go with one by holding them by hand. That is how dictionary defines. That is what is the meaning by lead. Leader, the one who leads, of course. Leadership is a phenomena. Leadership is a process. And the ship. Ship is a vessel. It's a sea vessel that takes people from one place to another. That is the leadership. So now the teacher himself has become a leader. He has to be the role model for the children. He has to be perfect by all means. The children will imitate him. They imitate him in the class. They imitate him outside the class, and they observe him very keenly. These youngsters, and naturally that observation and the behavior of the teacher, the way he talks, the way he walks, everything influences these children. Now, I will come to another example. Just a few days back, I was just going through some articles on leadership. I was just going through and I came across one beautiful example. I think that example will be enough if I describe that here and I explain all the points. That will be enough for today's session about teachers as leader or leadership for teachers. That is the a very small example. Now, there was a gentleman who, along with his house, there was a railway track. And whenever a train comes, he looks at the train very keenly. Anytime the train comes, he runs to the window and he watches the train. Somebody asked him, what is this? Why do you do that? Anytime the train is coming, you are watching it and you are very keen at that time. You're observing it. He said, I have fallen in love with the train and especially the engine. I have fallen in love with that. He asked, what is the reason? Why? Why have you fallen in love with that? He has explained, he gave 5 reasons. Reason number 1, he said, the engine takes everyone to destination. That is number 1. Number 2, the engine takes the last bogie also. There are so many bogies in the train, maybe 30, 40, 50, 60. Says that the engine takes the last bogie also to the destination, it doesn't leave it. Number 3, the engine takes the whole pain. Number 4, it goes on a pre-decided. It is already decided and it goes only on that. Number 5, which is again very important, that it does not depend on bogies, rather bogies depend on it. There are 30 bogies or 40 bogies. The bogies depend on the engine and the engine does not depend on the bogies. These are the 5 things. If we look at these 5 things, we'll find, a teacher is the engine in the classroom and there are 30 bogies, 30 bogies, 40 bogies, 50 bogies, number of children, how many number of children we have in each class. That is the bogies. And it is the teacher who is leading them, who is taking them, who is responsible to take them to their destinations. If we look at that, honestly, what are we? Are we, as a teacher, are we the bogies or the engines? Actually, as teachers, we are the engines. And we have to lead these 30 bogies or 40 bogies that are with us, where they're connected with us. We have to take them to their destinations. You will find, in a class, when we say that it takes the last bogie also. First thing that it takes all the children to their destination. It is the teacher who is responsible to groom these children in such a way that they reach their destination. It is the teacher who is responsible. And then it takes the last bogie also. What is that last bogie? You will find that in each class, there are individual differences. There are very bright children. There are average children. There are below average children. And there may be some even slow learners. Now, it is the teacher's responsibility that those who are below average, the teacher has to take those children also to the destination. That is very, very important job of the teacher. Teacher has to look into each and everything. Teacher has to look into the individual differences. When the teacher is dealing with those children, he has to keep that in mind, that all children are not the same. And even that below average child is my responsibility. I have to take that child also to the destination. It's the teacher who just doesn't find only apple, who just doesn't see only the apple. He sees in that apple how many trees are there. A teacher is that visionary. He can see not only the apple, but how many trees are there in that apple. That also a teacher can see. So it is the teacher who is responsible and who takes each and every one to the destination. Another thing, the third point, that it is the teacher who takes all the pains. And of course, those 30 children, those 40 children, he works hard on them, and he works day and night. He dreams all the time. Even at night, he must be dreaming about his children, about those children who are not performing very well. He must be thinking about the child who is very bright in the class. So he is the one who takes all the pain. And then it is the teacher who takes them to the pre-decided, pre-designed, predetermined path. That is the job of the teacher, that he takes them. It's already decided. The objectives, the aims are decided. What is going to happen by the end of the year? So the teacher, he knows where he is taking his children, where he is leading them. So if he doesn't know well, naturally he cannot perform his duty well. He won't be able to do that. Then the last one, the last point, it doesn't depend. The engine does not depend on the bogies. Rather, these bogies depend on. But nowadays we can see the children are very smart. Using the technology, the children are, I think, smarter than the teachers. But as teachers, we have to be smarter. We have to keep updating ourselves. We have to keep refreshing ourselves so that we do not cut a sorry figure in the class. We have to update ourselves, and we have to be smarter than our children. This is another thing that we have to do. So we have to develop all these 5 qualities we have to develop. Then only we can be a true leader in the classroom. And certainly we need today's teachers, we need them to be the leaders. If you look at that, just to summarize, I think the time is getting over. If we just summarize these 5 points, these 5 qualities, very simple thing, very simple qualities, 5 qualities. If we learn, we can summarize into these, that it is the teacher who will be leading the children to the destination. That's why he is the leader. And it is the teacher who takes and considers even the last bogie. Those who are very weak children, he takes them also into consideration. He works hard with them, and he takes them along with the whole class. And it is the teacher who takes the whole pain. It goes on, it knows very well what is the pre-decided goal. What are the aims and objectives, what will happen by the end of the year. It is the teacher who knows that, and that the teacher, he keeps refreshing himself, he keeps updating himself. That is why today the perspective, the perception about a teacher has changed. The teacher has to be smart. A teacher has to be a leader in the classroom. I think I've done my job, and the time is almost over. Yes, Dr. Halima.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahab. It was really very fantastic and encouraging, especially you have given the example of an engine. It was really mind-blowing. And the teacher has to be a leader, and the teacher has to lead the children to the destination. The teacher has to take the last bogie, also the weakest child of the class. The teacher is the one who takes pain, as the engine takes the pain to carry all the bogies. And the teacher has to go to the pre-decided goal, means the destination that is already fixed, and the teacher has to refresh herself always. So these are the takeaways from your lecture. Thank you very much. It was really very enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
And SAET both are very much.
Thank you, Dr. Halima, for giving me a chance. Today it was the first time that I was doing it online, and hopefully by next time when we do it, I will come with more of technology.
No, it was fantastic. Nobody can make out that it is the first time. So now we come to the end of today's session Upskills program for the teachers. And now our president, Dr. Abdul Rashid Agwan Sahab, is since 4 o'clock with us. Thank you very much, Dr. Rashid Agwan Sahab. Now I request you to kindly sum up the entire sessions. And before that, if there is any question, any queries from the participants, they can always write in the chat box. And I'll ask the experts, because some of the experts are still with us. We will ask them to answer to your queries. And then after that, we'll move towards Abdul Rashid Agwan Sahab's talk, because here in India, in Delhi, half an hour is just left for the Maghrib prayer. So before that, we have to conclude the session. Yes, participants. Some of one question has come that can you recommend some of the books on teaching? So inshallah, we'll recommend some of the books present.
Yeah, Dr. Halima, there is a beautiful book, Successful Teaching, a Practical Handbook by Brian Coombs. It's a beautiful book. It's a small book.
So better if you can show them. I'll bring you in the spotlight so that you can show them. Yes. Yes, Successful Teaching, I hope.
Yeah, it is Successful Teaching, a Practical Handbook by Brian Coombs.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Jazakallah Khair. And now I request Dr. Abdul Rashid Agwan Sahab for his presidential address.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Hello.
Good evening. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Halima Sadia and her trust, Shaukat Education Trust, for this wonderful event, which have taken teachers and other participants to a journey which was very important for us. This journey was from past to future, and from the classroom to the technology, and from learning many things which we require in future. So my observation is that all the speakers have done their job very nicely, and hopefully those who have attended this program will be benefited from their learned talks. And many new things have come to us. And what I can say from our talks of Dr. Rafia Ali, Mrs. Rafia Ali, Mr. Rajendran Padmanabhan Sahib, Dr. Rihan Sahib, Dr. Anis Ahmad Sahib, and Dr. Halima Sadia, is that we need upskilling very much, very much. This very program has also made us to realize what are the glitches of the new technology, new communication methods, and new teaching methods. And we have seen that what upgradation is required in our own knowledge and using the technology and our abilities to communicate through this new method of new methods which are now available to us. In this session, the different sessions, we have learned that what are our needs during the present time and also in the future. What is the shape of the future classroom, and how the world is changing, and how the education and pedagogy is changing, and how the human behavior is going to change. So these are some of the lessons we have learned about the needs, particularly the future needs of our classroom and our education and our teaching responsibilities. The second thing I think which we have come across is that what are the gaps where we are and where we have to go. There's a big gap from the standard classroom methods. Now we have to go to the virtual classroom and the global classroom and the open school or the school in the air. So this is we can realize that what are the gaps and how we should prepare ourselves for filling those gaps, so that we may be able to contribute in future in the way which we are already doing at the present time. There are a lot of suggestions which have come from the other speakers, and which I think the participants would have noted them, and they will use those suggestions in their future class practices. And Lastly, there are a lot of things which came as food of thought for all of us, like the example of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu the Napoleon story and the engine, the story of engine, and these things right from the talk of Mrs. Rafia Ali, we have gone through many inspiring things which we can just have in our mind, and we should prepare ourselves for future. What I call the present time, that is COVID-19 epidemic, is that it is a future shock. Dr. Halima Sadia is witness that on 15th March this year, we have joined a conference in Kolkata, and I was speaking about the future education, and I told that in next decade there will be no school, no universities, and India may be somewhat behind the world, but India will naturally join the whole global education developments. However, within a week, on 22nd, we have the 24th, we have the lockdown. And that future, which I was thinking that it will after 1 decade, had just come. And all teachers are now forced to use the technology and the communication methodology and the new device gadgets for education. So this is a future shock, and this future shock has compelled us to prepare ourselves for the future education. And a lot of examples which the experts were giving for last 22 decades after the new millennium. Now we realize that most of the predictions have come true, and we are now in a future education on the verge of future education. So this is a transition period. If we can take this lockdown and the pandemic as a critical period, we can take it as a transition period, and we are transiting into a new world, a new education paradigm, and we have to shift into this. And it depends how fast we learn, because the change is going on very fast, and proportionately we have to change ourselves, our behavior, our attitude, our skills, and our knowledge, our professional aptitude, and whatever is required. So we have to proportionally change according to the time, otherwise we'll be out of the mainstream and will be useless for the future. So it is very important that we have to change according to the ongoing change, and which is very fast. Alvin Toffler has wrote a trilogy on the future, and he started with the future shock, and he predicted that the future will be based on information, and information revolution will take over all the powers, and information itself will become a power. So now we are in that era where the information evolution has already begun, and this revolution is going on around us. So Toffler has given one session, very critical session, which we should remember, that in the boom of information, it will be very important to de-learn, relearn, and learn. So de-learning means we have to forget so many things which we have already learned. They have come into our practices, our behavior, our habits. So many of things will become redundant, and we have to leave them behind. We have to forget them. Otherwise, they will always bog down us in our future or our present activities. So de-learning is important. Learning is also important, and relearning is also important. Whatever we have learned, with the pace of changes which is going on in the field of education, in the field of politics, technology, society, economy, everything is changing, and with this pace we have to change ourselves. Otherwise, this will be very difficult for us to survive. So in the same, on the parallels of Toffler's terminology, we can say that we have to unskill ourselves, because many of the skills are not useful for now, and which we have learned in our schools, in our training, and in our refresher courses, and we are practicing them, but they are now become not a skill and very not useful skill for us. We have to forget those skills which are not useful. So unskilling is also important, so that our weight of many skills on us should not just prevent us from moving fast. Then reskilling, whatever skills we are having already, they should be reskilled according to the need of the time. And the upskilling, whatever skills we have, those skills should be upgraded according to the need of the time. So these are some of the terms which can just make us realize our responsibilities as a learner, not as a teacher. As a learner, you have to realize that this is the real situation, this is the emerging scenario, and we have to realize that the change is very fast. Say, for example, the computer has reached to 50 million users in 14 years. But in December, the Zoom was having only 10 million users. But in 3 months, January, February, March, and April, it has 300 million, from 10 million to 300 million people who are daily attending meetings by using Zoom technology. You can just understand how many people are using this technology every day, and we are still not skilled to use the Zoom technology, as we have realized from our this session. There's a school in Azamgarh, there's a Azam complex which is running a school in Pune, and Mr. P. Namdar is very visionary, and he has now developed his school. There are 27,000 students in his school at different levels. So he has banned books, he has banned pen, and he has banned the blackboard. He tells that these are now things which should not enter into the school. And now from the class 1, his students are able to use the new technology. They can repair the mobile, they can repair the computers, laptops, from hardware to software. They are using it from the class 1. So this is a wonderful idea that we have to transform our whole school environment to a new requirement of the world. So these changes which are going on, they need many things. They need policy changes at the government level. They have to provide budgets, they have to provide policies, they have to provide guidelines. Then many changes are required at the institution level. The management should realize that what is the change which is going on around us, and what are the future requirements of teachers, and how this teachers should be upskilled. So there is an investment is required in the schools or in the system itself. So institutions should also be prepared, then teachers should also be prepared, and the parents are also be prepared for this future which is changing very fast. And this requires both investment and training. So I hope this training program, which is for the first time we are joining, at least I can say so, through Dr. Halima Sadia, is very important, and such type of training programs should be organized regularly, so that our teachers may be upskilled, upgraded, and they can have advancement in their professional commitments and professional requirements. One more thing which we should realize, and I think there was a question also from some participant, that there's a marginalized society. We are living in a marginalized society where some people are privileged and others are not. And there are different gaps. There's a social gap, there's a political gap, there is a economic divide. And now we are facing the digital divide also. Only 10 to 20% of the parents in big cities are able to afford the new technologies. And most of the people, they are not in a position. And even if they are able to afford the technology to provide the laptops or iPods, mobile to their children, and provide them software, very costly things, still they are not having proper accessibility to those technologies. So training, as well as the this digital divide is very important. There's a school, there's a Samaj school in Delhi, which have conducted a survey in Delhi, and they found out that 83% students at a school level, they are not able to have access to the new technologies. So this is the problem which is being faced by at the national capital, and we can think of the rural areas. So this digital divide has to be met out somehow, and for these teachers are very important because they can develop some economic ways so that the teachers can be able to teach in the rural areas also. Our non-governmental organizations are very important to remove this digital divide at pace. And the government should also be required, and we should demand from the government that they should have some schemes to remove this digital divide between the communities, between the regions, and between the economic levels of people. Then we should also realize that now in the present age, which is going through various changes, and one most important change is that the rules of or the laws which were governing the workforce in India have changed. Now the employer has most rights, and in the changing circumstances, the managements and the system will only use those teachers who have updated themselves. Dr. Halima Sadia has already told that how one school has dismissed half of their teachers for using the technology. So this is possible that most of the teachers, half of the teachers, or in India, maybe 70%, may find themselves difficult to carry on their jobs, even in government and private sector. This is very important that we should realize as a teacher, we should realize our responsibilities rather than rights. So we can assert our rights, but the responsibilities will over the rights, and we should be more sensitive regarding our responsibilities. As Dr. Rafia has told, that a good teacher is the one good learner. So this is the most important takeaway from today's training, that if we are not learning every moment, things are changing. If we are not learning every new things, new methods, and new technologies, then we are not a good teacher. To be a good teacher, you have to be a good learner, and that to be on a regular basis. Anyway, Dr. Rafia has told about 9 qualities of teachers. Maybe Dr. Suri and Dr. Padmanabhan and Dr. Halima Sadia herself and Dr. Asad has also added some more qualities which are required for the future teachers. Like one thing which Dr. Padmanabhan has referred is Dr. Abdul Kalam's quotation, and that quotation was very important to highlight the character of the teacher, because the teacher is to shape the character of a nation. So if the teacher is teaching the character of nation, then he should be having a good character, integrity with profile. This is the important quality and requirement of a teacher. The second important thing which I realize is that synthesis is very important for you to learn. Synthesis means everything is changing. So you have to identify priorities, you have to identify the useful things, and then you have to synthesize what are useful for you and for your children whom you are going to teach the next day. In Google, we type just quality of teacher, thousands and millions of pages are there. So we have to find out which is very important for us. Then after learning from different sources, from the multimedia and from different sources, to synthesize what is important, what is priority for my class, which I am going to take tomorrow. Because synthesis is very important. You have a lot of knowledge and there's a information explosion is there, but you have to find out what are the gems for you and your children. So synthesis is a quality we have to develop, and the communication has already been told. And then heart is very important. So you are going to sow the seeds of learning in the hearts of the students. If the hearts are not open, then you will not be able to sow the seeds there. So we have to learn the habit of opening the hearts of the students, the children. And all the technology, we are afraid of technology, robot will come, and then the artificial intelligence will come, Internet of Things will become, and some other things are coming, virtual reality and some other things are coming, and they may replace the teachers. But I think all the technologies with all the advancements, they will not have a heart. A human heart is very, very precious, and it is very important to communicate with the generations, human generations, and heart is a link between us and the new generation. So it was very important lesson which Dr. Padmanabhan has mentioned today, that how to reach to the hearts. And Dr. Suri has mentioned to use the e-resources. Already a lot of things have done by our own governments, our state governments, our national government, and the international educational communities have done a lot of things. What we have to do as a first step is to know about them and to learn about them and to master them if possible, and to acquire those technologies and use them in our classrooms. So this was a wonderful program today, and I'm thankful to Dr. Halima Sadia for making me learn from a lot of wonderful speakers, and I think she will go on organizing such programs in future also, so that our teachers in the locality, in the area, may be able to upgrade themselves and contribute in society in the best possible manner. Thank you very much. Dr. Halima Sadia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Rashid Agwan Sahab. It seems that you are listening very keenly and very closely to all the speakers. It was very comprehensive, and you have covered all the aspects and all the areas of all the speakers. Thank you very much. And this is the best quality I always appreciate in you, that you are very sincere.
This is the quality of a good leader.
Yes, that's true. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Before we conclude, actually, one question is here. Aisha Khan is with us. Aisha Khan is saying that the teachers are ready to do whatever they can do, but the parents are unable to arrange the things for the online classes. And secondly, they don't have the attitude towards these classes. They think that it is just waste
very
of
important time. That parenting should also be a part of education system. Yeah.
Yes.
And we have to learn how to mobilize the parents, and we have to specially take sessions for them. The issue of parenting has started very recently. Previously, there were the PTM and the teacher invite the parents to the school, and now then there is a trend of parent workshops for parents. Now we have to take classes for parents also. and
I
make
think we
them
can organize.
realize the inputs put by the teachers.
Yeah, there has to
All
be
the
some counseling
teachers
session
were
for
here.
parents.
Yeah.
The teachers, they can, if they can ensure that they can invite the parents and they can request them that these sessions are very useful for them, we can organize, like as we have organized for the teachers today, we can organize another session for the parents as well, so that they can understand the things. So now
Very
we
good,
come
very
to
good.
the end of our today's
Very
session.
useful.
We
It will
have
be, inshallah, very useful.
Dr. not Dr. Mr. Rajendran with us, who is a very good singer, and my introduction to him was through a singing, because we were attending a workshop at Dubai, and it was organized by IIM Calicut, and there I'm very fond of like all the cultural programs everywhere, drama and then singing and other things, because the person should be live. It doesn't mean that if you are a principal that you will stop smiling and laughing. Then we organized by the end of the workshop one cultural program, and I was in the drama, so that's why I cannot sing here, but Mr. Rajendran was in the singing group. Mr. Rajendran, can you sing something for us
Oh,
before
I'm
we
so.
go?
Come on, Halima ma'am. Rafia ma'am, do you remember me? Okay, no
I
problem.
remember,
Actually,
but I
singing
don't remember your song. So I have to revive myself.
No, nothing like that. Actually, I'm not a professional singer, just like
No
that,
problem.
because Rafi
No
Saab has
problem.
been my inspiration in singing field. So I have been, because I spent about 25 years of my life in Delhi and listening
Okay.
to Rafi Saab every night. I won't sleep without listening to him. Aapki Farmaish or Phule Bisre Geet. You know, those things kept me alive, and I owe my existence even I mean, to what level is to the actually see President Saab, Abdul Rashid Saab, if I'm not wrong. He has been observing all features very carefully and pointed out all the entire things. And I wonder if we will be able to do such a thing when we reach that level. And I appreciate, sir, because you have really a wonderful quality of a good leader. And you know, we teachers keep on trying to find out something or the other to educate the children, just like you know, like Rafi's song, चांद को ढूंढे पागल सूरज, शाम को ढूंढ सवेरा, मैं भी ढूंढूं उस मंजिल को, हो न सका जो मेरा. ये मैंने मंजिल बदल दिया था क्योंकि वो उसका वर्डिंग दूसरा है. कहीं आप गलत ना समझ ले.
But even then it is
वो
good.
मंजिल मैंने अपने आप डाल दिया था, वो आप गलत समझिएगा. So I wish everybody a very happy you know day and night, and going forward I'll always be there to support any teaching faculty, any teaching society to do a wonderful job to uplift society. I'm there to create a new world which actually believes in human capacity rather than any other superficial initiatives. Let us actually all together bring in a new society which believes that man can make changes, because we are standing together in this pandemic phase, and I'm sure that we will get over. We will overcome all these issues. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Now, thank you. Now, Rafia ma'am, what you have to say before we just wind up? Just last message to our all the teachers, lovely teachers.
Yeah, last message is, as Mr. Rashid has already told, that keep on learning, never stop learning.
Absolutely.
Because you see that at this age, at this hour, we are learning everything. You have to, as Mr. Anis had shown, nice books. Keep on reading, keep on learning, keep practicing, and moreover, enjoying. Stay at home, take care of your health. Just fight with this COVID-19 and take care of the children also, because I am very much into health education also, because my subject is biology and my both children are doctors. So we have that healthy environment at home. So please guide all your children, all your teachers to be healthy, safe and fit, and stay at home and fight with this COVID-19 so that we can have future education face to face. I'm sure very soon we will flatten the curve everywhere. In UAE, inshallah, we will be going to flatten the curve very soon. Here, everything is open now. We are working normally, but we are still deciding how to open the school, which model to be followed, whether whole day school open or blended or shift wise. So we have three options. It depends on the school that how we will be opening. But the first thing is that we have to take care of our health, and we have to keep ourselves and our near and dear ones, everyone safe. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed all talks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the lovely words. And now, Anisa, chalte chalte.
कभी अलविदा मत कहना।
अलविदा ना कहें, लेकिन आप चलते चलते कोई शेर तो सुना जाएं।
अनीस साहब मैं चित्तौड़ से, I belong to चित्तौड़गढ़, and I have been seeing Sainik School from our childhood.
I see.
So I am very happy that you have been in Sainik School चित्तौड़गढ़.
That's great, really. You know.
नहीं, अनीस साहब भी बहुत अच्छे सिंगर हैं वैसे।
नहीं, वो तो आपने
एक रिक्वेस्ट ये आई है तमाम पार्टिसिपेंट्स की तरफ से कि आप लोग अपने अपने ईमेल आईडीज जो है वो चैट बॉक्स में शेयर कर दें, ताकि वो आप उनको अगर आपको इंटरेक्ट करना हो तो वो कर सकें।
बिल्कुल, आप मेरी ये प्रेजेंटेशन आप सबको भेज दीजिएगा।
जी बिल्कुल, मैं ईमेल कर दूंगी सबको, डोंट वरी। सबको ईमेल,
क्योंकि उसमें जो मेरा लर्निंग वॉक वाला टेम्पलेट है, दैट इज वेरी हेल्पफुल फॉर ऑल द टीचर्स।
Now that I will share, inshallah, sure. जी अनीस साहब फरमा रहे हैं कुछ?
या अनीस साहब, इरशाद। अनीस साहब तो अपनी डायरी खोल रहे हैं।
नहीं, मैं तो टाइप कर रहा हूँ, वो अपना ईमेल एड्रेस और वो टाइप कर रहा हूँ।
कोई बात नहीं, अनीस साहब का ईमेल एड्रेस I will send them on the mail. All the email address.
जी, that would be fine. Okay. So I'm not typing then. I think it was a wonderful session.
Yes.
This is how we keep on learning.
हाँ, तो आप चलते चलते कुछ फरमा तो जाइए।
कुछ शेर शायरी सुनाइए अनीस साहब।
वो तो डॉक्टर हलीमा सादिया के पास तो बहुत बड़ा भंडार है शेर व शायरी का, और वो भी बहुत ज्यादा इंस्पिरेशनल शेर व शायरी है डॉक्टर हलीमा के पास। मेरे ख्याल से डॉक्टर हलीमा वुड बी डूइंग जस्टिस इफ शी कैन रिसाइट वन और टू।
कुछ नहीं, आप बाय बाय कह दीजिए ऑडियंस को।
That's all. Thank you. Have a nice time.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anisa. It was really lovely to listen to all the speakers. And
लेकिन हलीमा मैम तो जरूर सुना दें प्लीज।
ठीक है, अब तो चलते हैं। मैं कदे से मिलेंगे अगर खुदा लाया, और बड़े गौर से सुन रहा था जमाना, बड़े गौर से सुन रहा था जमाना, हम ही सो गए दास्तां कहते कहते।
सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह, बहुत खूब।
अल्लाह के वास्ते हम लोग हैं जो हम लोग जगाने वाले लोग हैं, जो स्पीकर्स हैं। रिक्वेस्ट देम ऑल दैट व्हेनेवर देयर इज एनी सच प्रोग्राम एंड व्हेनेवर देयर इज एनी सच रिक्वायरमेंट, so I humbly request you all to kindly spare your valuable time. I know you all are very busy, but still you can spare some time. And इंशाल्लाह फिर मिलेंगे अगर खुदा लाएगा।
इंशाल्लाह मैम, इंशाल्लाह
we will meet.
We will meet इंशाल्लाह, we will be in touch इंशाल्लाह।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आप सब बहुत ही अच्छे ऑडियंस थे। आपने पूरे 3.5 घंटे आप कंटिन्यूअसली बैठे रहे और सेशन अटेंड करते रहे, ये वाकई कमाल हो गया। So thank you very much and take care everybody. Don't move out, stay at home and stay safe. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you ma'am, same to you।